To learn to admit that. How many people know that some people always believe they are always right? No matter which angle you pass. Now, does it mean you should become a mediocre and submit to every time they say you are wrong, you don't retort back? You have to say why you did what you did, and if there are merits, bring it out. If there are no merits, drop it. But when your spouse takes a hard line on an issue, you drop. Tomorrow when you take a hard line, let the other spouse drop. And you can always find time. You are not always right. You will not always be right. One man that I used to know, he's late now, he said there is no marriage conflict where there is any person who is 100% right and the other person is 0% right. There is always, you crossed my path, you didn't cross my path. You entered my lane, you didn't enter my lane. All right. When you mess up, take accountability for it. Many men don't like saying they messed up. Is that true? But many women make the mess up of men become messy. So I've come from both sides. Men don't like admitting they messed up. But many women make the mess up of men become messy. And then 2 years time down the lane, you still say it. You understand? Now, but do you forget when an error comes? No. I am the Lord your God. I visit the iniquity of a generation unto another generation, up to the 4th generation. If God does that, did he forget? So, those are some preachings we preached in those days that we now know is not correct. However, don't use the fault of your spouse to keep splashing it on his or her face. When your husband or wife comes to you for something and it makes you upset, don't get defensive. Don't deflect what he is saying back on him. Let me explain this. Do you know that some people are masters in telling you that in never admitting their errors, which is point number 6. And they find a way to tell you that you either didn't say it well, or the time you said it is wrong, or the manner you said it is bad, and take you off course from the main thing. Do we understand this? And at the end of the day, you are now arguing on something, and the real thing is waiting. It will happen again. It will happen again. It will happen again. That's when you now see some people say, you keep doing this thing. Then the other partner will now say, you never forget. Hello? Do you understand? Because the main thing was not trashed. Your spouse found a way, whether male or female, to divert your attention from the main thing. And then you dealt on what is not the main thing. The main thing is still sitting there and saying, you will come back again. And when you come back again, the person that is on the other side says, he or she has done it again. It's like he or she has. Then you are forced to spit it out, and then your partner hits back at you immediately and says, you never forget, you use it to trouble. I'm not a fan of Fela, but I think Fela was philosophical. He said, when trouble sleep, yanga go wake up. Waiting they find palava. A lot of palava in homes is because we went to wake what we should not wake up. And then when it gets up, trouble. All right. Constantly denying your spouse of intimate attention he or she needs will cause him to feel rejected and unloved. I think we've trashed that quite a bit. If your husband or wife confides in you or opens up about his feelings, do not judge him or her for it. Also, it is for no one else but you and him or her. Don't go telling anyone about it. Do not use it against him or her later. My dear, this happened, that happened. You know, something happened yesterday, and I still feel bad till now. Not between me and my wife, between me and in my office. Even as I'm talking to you people, I'm still feeling bad. Now, it would be wrong for my wife to wake up and say, well, leave it. Feelings are not what you just switch on, switch off like that. A group of people did a few things that I felt they shouldn't do. And somehow it hurts me very deeply. Very deeply, deeply. When you say something crosses you to your inner emotion. When I walked into my office, my wife was talking to one of them, showing that she also felt it and understands that her husband is not happy about this. I'm standing here, my mind keeps flickering back and forth. How could they? How could they? How could they? How could they? It would take time for that wound to heal. It would take time. Because it's a costly wound, very costly wound. Praise the name of the Lord. I said bonus. Your husband stroke wife is your teammate, not your enemy. You are in the same team or in the same boat. How do teammates behave? Take a football field. Do you like football, sir? What's your name, sir? Kende Taiwo. I always like your contributions. Well done, sir. You know, a football team, how many people watch football here? Not that you watch it every day, but you watch football, you know what football is. If the forward man does not get ball from the midfield, he will be stranded there. If the back man does not stop them scoring and does not throw ball to the midfield, they will be stranded there. So, teammate, how do you team with your wife or your spouse or your husband? Let me give you a little example. If I'm an accountant, I'm not an accountant, but if I'm an accountant, the things that I use majorly for my work will be ledger book, day book, bank book, what else? Calculator, and all those kinds of things. If, let's say, I was sitting down doing something, I said, my wife, please give me the ledger there. And she went to bring me a notebook. How will I react? I will be angry. You may have been married to you for so long. You don't know what's a ledger? Let's make it even a little bit worse. If I'm an electrician and I climb the ladder and say, give me a screwdriver there. Then she went to bring me a spanner. If she's not careful, I can take the spanner and do we understand? These are normal things because I expect that having been married for almost 40 years, you should know what I do and a few essentials of what I do. The same thing for the woman. If the woman is a manager in the office, a business administrator, and the woman comes to say, one business we were bidding for, I need to do it. Your husband should be able to come and say, okay, you need this, you need that. You understand what I'm saying? But if you are talking to your husband about the business and you are saying, you see, that business I've been doing, and the man is watching television, crossing his leg, or he's saying, what did you say? Oh, hey, Samson, yes. What will the woman do? She will simply pack her load